AskReddit by Crush. Who will be the most mourned biggest deal when they die? Biggest deal right now would probably be Putin, not because he's loved but you know, that whole war thing. Same goes for Zelensky of course. I think most of the world would hold their breath for a minute if one of them died suddenly. A recent joke I actually got from Reddit. Putin visits a fortune teller because the war isn't going well. He asks what's going to happen. She says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's not good news. I'm afraid even to tell you. He insists, tell me please, nothing will happen to you. She says, okay. You are going to die on a Ukrainian national holiday. Putin goes deathly silent for a minute, thinking. Then he asks which holiday? Which year? She answers, I don't actually know. Any day you die is going to be a Ukrainian national holiday. Your mom. Seriously, my mom isn't getting any younger and it makes me sad. I have already cried just imagining her death. My grandma. She's my best friend and I've been attached at her hip since the day I was born. Half of me will go with her when she dies. Same. I love my grandma, she's the best. Ozzy Osbourne. Dude has defied the odds of death in the context of rock and roll and has such a unique personality that it'll be sad to see him go. Not to mention he's an excellent voice, even his old agent has contributed so much to the formation of metal as a music genre. Long live the Prince of Darkness. Stevie Wonder. Man, music of my mind through songs in the key of life is the most amazing consecutive run of perfect albums ever made. Fucking phenomenal through every song of each 5 albums. Michael J. Fox BTTF is my favorite movie of all time and I have watched his health get worse and worse for so many years now. The day he goes the world will reflect on how long he battled Parkinson's and how much money he raised. About $1.5 billion ATM. Gosh, I love him so much. I'll be so sad when we no longer have him. He's a good dude. I was steadily giving money to his foundation through Amazon. My dad died of Parkinson's, as did both my granddads. Julie Andrews. After Betty White and Angela Lansbury, she's our last collective grandma. I've already been thinking of the movie marathon I'll be having in her honor. Sir Ian McKellen. Edit, forgot the sir. Death is just another path. One we all must walk eventually. John Williams. He's a brilliant composer, who wrote a solid chunk of the soundtracks for the best American movies over the past 50 years. I love the story of when he was first shown Schindler's List by Steven Spielberg. He was conflicted, as he felt it deserved a better composer. I had to walk around the room for 4 or 5 minutes to catch my breath, Williams recalls. I said to Steven, I really think you need a better composer than I am for this film, and he very sweetly said, I know, but they are all dead. James Earl Jones. Saw him trending on Twitter the other day and I was about to pass out. People were just talking about how awesome he was and that he was okay, lol. Patrick Stewart is gonna be rough. Probably the last celeb I'll cry for. Norm Macdonald and Bowie were the other two. Patrick Stewart as Picard had such a profound effect on how I see the world. I always told myself I'd like to shake his hand one day, but I feel like I'm gonna wake up one day and find out I never got the chance. Keith Richards, except none of us will still be alive to mourn him. He died about 30 years ago, the fucker just won't stay in the ground. I think this is tied largely to age and manner of death. Betty White was a national treasure and while it was incredibly sad, she was nearing 100 and everyone saw it coming. When Princess Di and Kobe died, it felt like they were ripped from us and the world collectively grieved. Eater, these examples were the first that came to mind. If you didn't like grieve them, cool, but they were used to make an illustration of a public figure that died young and in a violent manner that a large group of people felt blindsided by. Others have provided really good examples as well. Man, that reminded me of Anton Yelchin. Absolutely tragic way to go, and he was making it so big and had such a great energy in his roles. Danny DeVito. When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash. Frank Reynolds. Samuel L. Jackson. Motherfucker. Ain't no fucking ballpark, neither. Now look, maybe your method of massage differs from mine, but you know, touching his wife's feet and sticking your tongue in the holiest of holies ain't the same fucking ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same fucking sport. Giving a foot message don't mean shit. Edit, holiest of holies. Spielberg. People will mourn without even knowing they're mourning. Because not only will Spielberg be gone, but so will the Hollywood era he's associated with. Mark Hamill. He is a pillar for modern day nerdy interests. He is the iconic voice of the Joker and Luke Skywalker. He has other roles too, but being the face of those two helped form nerdy interests for decades. Don't forget Jim the Vampire on What We Do in the Shadows. Kravitzworth. The internet will explode when Rick Astley will die. He won't. He's explicitly stated that he has no future intentions of saying goodbye. Bob Newhart and Dick Van Dyke for me. Add Mel Brooks to those comedy legends. Morgan Freeman. Still haven't come to terms that he's 85. I think Tim Curry is going to be a big one. He represents so much of many people's childhoods, adulthoods, coming of age, and has been in so many cult and mainstream classics. I'm not looking forward to losing him. Rocky Horror Picture Show has been continuously playing in theaters since 1975. I can't think of another movie that can make that claim. Maggie Smith. I will not have you behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons. Weird Al. My wife already told me she will leave for a week because I will be unbearable when he dies. I've seen him 40+ times and met some of my oldest friends through the fan community. A lot of the traveling I did was a result of your chasing. First time going to California was to see him get his star. Even my daughter's first 5 concerts were Weird Al. Dolly Parton. We recently went to Dollywood and stayed in her hotel. Both were awesome. Did you know she wrote a secret song that's locked in a box in her hotel that is to be released on her 100th birthday? Pretty cool. LeVar Burton. I will cry so hard. Edit. Thank you for the gold kind anonymous friend. You can't disappoint a picture. Deleted. Yeah, this will be a major deal worldwide. The people downplaying this will see when he dies just how big of a global influence the Beatles have had compared to literally any other living musicians. It will be sad when we have an abracadabra. Harrison Ford. We are destined to lose both Han Solo and Indiana Jones at the same time. Mel Brooks. Stand-up philosopher. I coalesce the vapors of human experience into a viable and meaningful comprehension. Rowan Atkinson. God, how my childhood was tied to watching Mr. Bean from 1990-95. To think that there were only 15 amazing episodes of that show. It makes me so horrifically sad to think about how much the world has changed since then. David Attenborough. So help me, if you jinxed it and I wake up tomorrow to headlines of him dead, I'm coming for you. Willie Nelson. We'll finally roll him up and smoke him. I'm going to be pretty bummed out when Ozzy Osbourne dies, a true pioneer of bringing heavy, dark sounds into the mainstream rock world. And the guy is just, he's fucking Ozzy, man. David Bowie has been the musician death that has bothered me most so far. Similar to Ozzy, he was an absolute gem to his genre of music. Somehow he was able to be extremely feminine yet ultra masculine at the same time. Just a straight up badass on a whole different scale. He died years ago, just no one told him. Anthony Hopkins. Keanu Reeves. Bob Dylan. Not because he is a great person, but because he is one of few remaining icons that embodies that zeitgeist of the 60s. Deleted. Stephen King is my favorite author and a huge part of my life in a lot of ways. It'll be a sad day when he gets to the clearing at the end of the path. I'll be very sad when we lose John Williams. He's already gone. R.I.P. Robin Williams. This is the only famous person I actually shed tears for when I heard of their passing. Anyone gifted and young. I am still upset about George Michael's early exit. Arnold Schwarzenegger. A cultural icon in fitness, bodybuilding and action movies and an inspiration to millions. Fuck me, why did I have to scroll past so many celebrities to find him? Arnold is a international treasure and I hope he never dies. George Santos. Nobel Peace Prize winner. Cancer curer. Olympic volleyball champion. Virtuoso banjo picker, 5-time champion RuPaul Drag Race. Winner of both The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Men will weep and women will wail. And there'll be a special Hannah Montana episode honoring him. Dave Grohl. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Jack Black will be tragic. Christopher Lloyd. His spotlight seems to have faded in recent years, outside of nostalgia-based Back to the Future stuff. It's a shame. The man is a treasure. Deleted. I don't want to even think about Steve Martin dying. His albums have pulled me out of some pretty dark places. Tom Hanks. Keanu Reeves. Steve Carell. Rowan Atkinson. For me personally, Jimmy Carter. Editor at his work with the Carter Center facilitating free and democratic elections in developing nations, adopting neglected problems in the world and creating programs to ease human suffering, like public health campaigns to stop the spread of guinea worm, for teaching Sunday school and building houses for humanity well into his 90s. Not sure how old he is now. 100% David Attenborough.